Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have two breakdowns for two regionals that happened for the EX04 format this past weekend. We have Carta Magica's regionals, as we see here, as well as the Brisbane regional that happened for TAC games. So if you guys do appreciate these videos, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. There are a bunch of deck lists to go over for this one, as well as big shouts to both TAC and Carta for running the events, as well as helping me get these deck lists for it as well. So again, if you guys want to see any of these deck lists, they are going to be linked in the description below on my website, Eggman Events, which also have just a bunch of other EX04 tournaments and results and deck lists and anything else you kind of need for this format as well. But there are just two really healthy pie charts for this one. In the top 7, I'm not sure exactly what Peter played. If you guys know, let me know in the description. I can update this. But a lot of good, just 8 different decks, at least 7 different decks in the top 8 is pretty crazy, as well as this top 16 for the Carta Magica one. There's just a really healthy format in the fact that there's a lot of decks that can top and just do very well, which I think is very interesting. And also, there are a lot of kind of unique deck lists, at least 2 that I haven't really seen for this format that did get tops this weekend. So, but also, since there are so many decks that topped, and kind of half of them are ones that I've just been talking about for the last couple months, I'm going to do something a little bit different and just kind of talk about the ones that I find a little bit more interesting. But I do just want to say big shouts to everyone who topped for these events, and I just want to try to make this more of a manageable video. But again, if you want to see any of these deck lists, make sure to go into the description, hit the link to Eggman Events, and kind of go from there. But for the Carta Magica event, we do have 402 players for this event, and we see no more than 2 of a single deck in a top 16, which is great. And then also we had only 53 players. This was a regional, so top 16 did get their invite, but I just, since it was less than 64, I only did the top 8 or top 7 again. But this, again, a lot of diversity for this one too. So we are going to talk about the top placing list of some of the decks that I'm talking about. We're just going to jump on into our first place list from the Carta Magica one, and it's Alex's Milith loop, which honestly, I could be out of it. I've never seen this deck before in my life, but if I should have, let me know in the comments, help expose me for this one. But this is a really kind of unique deck in a lot of ways. Here are a couple combos that I've seen. If there's any others that I've missed, please let me know. But it kind of goes to the fact that we have all this Gelman support that is purple as well as red, but it just helps the deck a lot. Generically, what you can do is that you have all these effects that help you gain memory or trash top card of either player's deck. So, like example, this Gelman, on deletion, you get to delete something with 3k or less or trash top 2. This also gives rush if there's 20 or more in either players, which is very easy to do as well. You have Growlmon here if your Digimon is deleted by effects. When Digivolving, you get to trash 2, as well as this BlackWarGrey where you just have both players discard the top 2, and then also you can add any of your pretty much your line back to your hand, which is really nice. And then there's also this WarGrey from EX03. So when Digivolving, trash top 3 cards of both players' decks. Then if either player has 5 or more cards in the trash, you can play a Gelman or Ducato from your hand or trash without paying the cost. So that could be really good for playing like this Gelman if you know you have rush from it, which is great. It can also just be for the fact that you can use Alice McCoy. So once per turn, when one of your Digimon Digivolve from level 5 to 6, you can delete one of your Digimon to reduce the cost by 3. So you could use it. So for example, you get this, you use this to get this Gelman that deletes from trash top 2 from both, and then you can use the effect to go into Lilith for free, or even Creepymon for free as well. So both these are good. Lilith obviously can have a lot of effects with all these additional option cards we have, and then we have like the Shine Gray Ruin mode, which kind of helps you get some extra advantage, and you can easily keep it your turn and go into this Shine Gray. So when Digivolve on deletion until the end of your opponent's turn, all your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5k. And then end of attack, delete this Digimon and one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if you have a tandem play, you get to hatch something, so which you can have. So and then you just have a bunch of options. Some of them get effects where they get trashed from your deck, like Deathslinger, as well as Rivals Barrage, and you get all that recursion for you there. So really unique deck. I'd honestly want to see it played, and congratulations to Alex for their finish there. Next up, we have Rhys with their blue Flare, which we've been seeing a good healthy amount of blue Flare get a little bit more popular, especially with all the support that we got from EX4. Specifically, new support that we see for this one are the new lines. So I think like the new Machinedramon is pretty good. Being able to have jamming, but also pretty much like an ice wall effect when you play it. You also do see a bit of the red jank, which you do have to be careful again because this Metal Greymon from EX04 can only have blue sources. You can't use the red ones, but the Metal Greymon X can still Digivolve on top of your Metal Greymons for free. You get that extra security attack, which is nice since they do, they on the on play gives them rush, which is still really good for both Metal Greymons. We also do have a couple of unique level 6s. Normally we see kind of like the Z Gray, but for this one we have a Zulong, which lets you do like trash. This can just get a bunch of security attacks to go for game a lot of the time, as well as Kazuhamon, sorry, which also lets you do some free stuff with, for example, like the Blaze memory boost for free, and just kind of play stuff underneath, which when you have a lot of on-play effects like you do in this archetype, it's pretty strong. So otherwise, a 3-3 split between your tamers, having some additional option cards like Great Maelstrom, as well as the Full Metal Blaze, return 2 of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon to their hand. Then if you have 8 or more, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, return 1 of your opponent's level 6. So being able to use this to get like a somewhat full board clear is really nice too. And you can't use it for free off of the Kazuhamon, but also you can use it to, the once per turn is still activated whenever you play an option card with cost of 2 or more. So anyways, this deck seems really fun. I think Blue Flare is in a good spot for the rest of this meta, and we'll have to see if it transitions to BT13 as well. So there we go there. Congratulations to Rhys for their finish. Next up, we have Jacob with their 4th place BlackWarGrey kind of combo deck. This is a really interesting build in a lot of ways. There's a lot of neat little things that this deck can do. So you can see like the top end, like the bottom end, like, oh, we're just playing against a WarGreymon deck, but then there's just a bunch of different things. So we see like Gravity Crush and Blinding Ray for that extra memory for you to get potentially. We do have our yellow sources being our Agumons here, which you can go up your chain still because they are Agumons. The on-play effects I don't think are going to be too good, but like the Inherited is great, but the big engine is just using BlackWarGrey to suspend and digiburst and get a lot of attacks and go for game with this one too. So you can get a lot of good boost with this, especially since the Chimeramon, you're able to get like some bigger stacks if needed to. So it's not too difficult to have 2 kind of chunkier level 4 stacks go into Chimeramon and then place another card underneath it. So, and then if you have like the yellow as well as the a yellow source or a red source with the yellow source is not too terrible. You can get like the security attack, or sorry, like the extra memory you need, and you can get this having what, black, red, yellow, and white. So that's 4 colors. So you can give everything minus 4k till the end of your opponent's turn. So that's kind of nice there, and get the plus 4k for yourself. So this would be 12k. It's only your turn, so it doesn't transfer the BlackWarGreymon, but you can do some crazy stuff, especially with Lightning Joust, being able to get plus 2k and then security attack plus 1 and then kind of go off. So really interesting deck in a lot of ways. I think it's obviously it's kind of like a one punch kind of thing, but you have a lot of good sources for this, and that help you get a little bit more power and help you get like around deletion effects, especially like with the Greymon X. So really unique deck. I also want to see this one played, and congratulations to Jacob for their 4th place finish there. Next up, we have Long with their 3rd place Omni Alter, which I like this deck a lot. I know it's kind of jank, which is okay, but man, it is really cool to see this one get a top in an event here. So this is kind of like a combo deck where you kind of go up both sides, and they kind of help you get into your Kreskarumon, and Kreskarumon can help you get into Blitz, and then you go into your Omni Alter S at the top end. But I will say this is kind of a greedier build in a lot of ways, having 4 of the Alter S as well as 2 of the Alter B. Means that there are a potential good amount of bricks in your hand. You're only running, I guess, 7 of your level 6s and then 6 level 6s, which is a lot, but that's really interesting. We also have like Nokias. We also have Analog Youth, which I think is fine because we're going to get a lot of deletion. We only have 10 copies of our rookies, and then also our Matt and Ty kind of dual tamer too, which this one's really nice, and you can play this for free off of our Greymon. So if you don't have a tamer with Ty in its name, you can play a tamer with Ty in its name. So this, I do think like this one's really needed for this deck, being able just to play this, but yeah, this, I don't know, I haven't had a lot of success with this. I like this deck a lot. I think it's really neat, but it can be very bricky. But we do have Long being able to take it out with this one, and just a big congratulations for them for that one. So there we go there. And then next up we have Jonathan with their 4th place Ulforce for the Brisbane regional. So we do get a little bit of support for EX04, mostly the Gold Digimon. I think is a good piece for this deck. You do have to be careful with running cards like Modoki Betamon, since Gold Digimon literally cannot Digivolve on top of it, so you have to be, again, a little bit careful. But in general, I think this deck is great, being able to have the Ulforce and the Ulforce X. I am a little surprised there's no level 7s like Merciful Mode. I think is pretty common for this, as well as there's just no copies of the I mean, Great Maelstrom kind of helps you get around that in a lot of ways, like because Bloom Lord is pretty popular still, and Quartz is being run in Hunters as well as Bloom, so you do have to be careful, but I think this is still a very strong deck. So we'll see if it sees any play. We do technically get a new Ulforce, and we do technically get some Magnas, which technically aren't in this archetype, but you can cheese it because they're Vmons in the bottom end. So we'll see if there's anything that happens for this new one, but I think the deck is still very cool, and congratulations to Jonathan for their finish there. Next up, we have Andrew with their 5th place WarGrey X, and we are going to talk about a couple Greymon archetypes just because it is present. I'd say like the WarGrey X is not as popular as it kind of fell out of favor, but it's been getting a little bit more popular lately. I still think like the BT12 WarGreymon is fantastic. The fact that it's also red and black helps in a lot of ways for a lot of your targets. Obviously, Hades Force is a very good card still that helps you out, but being able to use this to raid into something, it gets the +3k and reboot, and then you can also when the attack target is switched, you get to unsuspend, which means then you can go afterwards in WarGrey X. You can still, even if you have X antibody underneath it, you can raid, switch into it, and then go into this at the same time. So when a card is removed from your opponent's security attack, gain one, and then also if WarGrey or X antibodies and evolution cards, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon. So there's just like a bunch of stuff you get to do with this, and you can help do a board clear, and then you can attack again, and gain memory and just everything else you get to do with this guy. So really flexible deck, obviously, running more of like the Metal Greymon X for the extra security attack +1, but also the Metal Greymon for raid, and also the piercing effect that you get, which is nice, and just kind of everything else. So very strong deck when it goes off. It's kind of a little bit more aggressive than I think other Greymon builds, but very good there. So congratulations to Andrew for their finish there. Next up, we have Brian with their 7th place BlackWarGrey X, and I know this deck has been very popular and it's been topping a lot lately, but I do just kind of want to mention that this deck is just so flexible, and I don't know, like there's just so many good level 6s that you get for Greymon, right? You have BlackWarGrey X, you have the regular BlackWarGreymon, we have Guilemon, we have the regular WarGreymon as well. We also have like the Guilemon from EX04, which hasn't been seeing as much play. It's normally like a 1 or 2, but it can like snipe an additional card out of security, which is really nice. You have so many like good level 5s, like I don't know, Agumon and Greymon and just everything else. There's just so many good pieces in all your spots that you have to be you really have to pick and choose a lot of the time, which I think is interesting. And then like so many tamers, like we have the Yuya, the Tai, the Cool Boys, we have some X antibodies with some Hades Force, Red Mem boost. This Greymon's able to play a Tai from your hand as well when attacking, which is nice. We have like the Agumon for BT12, the yellow-red one, which is supposed to be part of the Shine Greymon, but this still is a really good effect for being able to, the on-play effect is great, and you don't really care about the cost because you have Koromon. So all in all, just Greymon is very good. I don't think I have to say that a lot. There's just so much, it's just gotten so much support over the last couple of sets that it's very hard to actually build a deck because you have to, it's so tight, the deck list is so tight for your ratios and everything else. So anyways, this is the build. Congratulations to Brian for their finish there. Next up, we have Jordan with their security control, and we've definitely been in spots where security control has been a lot more prevalent, but I'd say it's pretty rare for people playing security control, but we do see some success with it and a couple new cards for this archetype. So we do see the Shadow Seraphimon, which again is quite an interesting card. It's the interactions that it does and how it works is a little bit bizarre, so you do have to kind of know how it works. But when a card is removed from your security stack, you get to de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, and then also on deletion you get to recover 1. Then one of your opponent's Digimon gets -4k DP for the turn. So, but just the fact that like if something's removed, you get to de-digivolve means that it just gets into like your opponent can get bopped right afterwards really easily. And if you're security control, you could do something like, oh, they got hit into tactical retreat, but now they have a level 5 that's exposed, or like, I don't know, just being able to use this effect to kind of slow your opponent down, I think is very strong. So you can Digivolve into it off Magna or off the Maycrack, but also you can just play this for 12 and you're not too terribly upset with it. You can Digivolve into the Death Exmon because it is black as well. And then you also have the Shine Gray Ruin mode, which we kind of talked about earlier, but this is really interesting too, being able to give something minus 5k and just kind of the effects. And it's just a 15k in security, which is great too. So all in all, just and then you just kind of see your regular yellow and purple stuff to help you go there. So I think that's solid. You know, Holy Wave is great, Long Key is great, Tactical Retreat, especially with using it for, I don't know, there's none of the Zwart Defeat, which some people run, but this is great for just putting cards back into your life anyways. Reinforced Memory Boost, Wyvern's Breath, and your Flame Hell Scythe and Chaos Degradation. So anyway, strong deck, and congratulations for Jordan for their finish there. And to wrap it up, we do have Noah's 12th place Machinedramon, and we have been seeing Machinedramon quite a bit lately, especially during the Ultimate Cup format, but there are a couple of, I'd say, interesting choices for this build specifically, with more of having like a low end. So we do have like the Mach, which does let you reveal something, look top 3, add a Tapermon or a 2-color black card among them. So this can add cards like the Volk, it can add the Chaosdramon X, the Megadramon, the Metal Greymon, or even the Metal Tyrannomon, and the Deltamon. So there's just a lot of honestly really good targets for this to search for in your deck, which is great in pretty much every level, 4, 5, and 6. So that's really helpful, I think. And then also your turn, once per turn, when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into a 2-color black, Digimon, you can suspend this to reduce the cost by 1. So being able to actually go up your chain more consistently, I think is good. You also see Analog Man, which isn't too surprising, but also the Tai Kamiya, which is interesting from this choice. You are running like a couple mono red cards, so I understand why you're not using maybe the Izzy, but I think the Izzy's still maybe you get the plus 1k during your opponent's turn, so maybe that's important enough to get the defense side, but I do like that. So we do have like obviously the Tapermon, we have Doromon to get the extra memory from your effects. We have the Deltamon, which when this Digimon would Digivolve into 2 colors or a composite trait, you get to reduce it by 2, so you can Digivolve into this for 2, or pretty much like all your multicolor stuff, which is really nice, and kind of keep your turn. We also have the Tyludomon too, so on play, by placing this Digimon underneath one of your Digimon that's red or has Legend Arms, one of your Digimon gains reboot until the end of your opponent's turn, but also inheritable. When you have a Digimon that's red or has Legend Arms in play, this gains blockers. So being able to just put something underneath it, you do have to like pay it for 5 and then put it underneath it, but another source underneath something is great. The fact that you get a memory back from Doro is good. You get a draw from Dory underneath it, and just kind of everything else you get to do. And blocker reboot is kind of nice too. So anyways, that is the deck list here. Congratulations to Noah for their finish there. And I do think this is a more unique build, which I'm going to have to try out myself. So anyways, that is all I'm going to talk about today. I know I've been talking for almost 20 minutes already, but again, and I haven't even scratched like half the decks for this event, so, or either of these events. So if you guys want to see these deck lists, make sure to go to my website. They're all linked here on both these pages. And again, thank you very much to both our TOs for running these events. And if you made it this far, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it. Damn it.